Hi everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not been here before, my name is Maddie. This is my channel and these are my plants. So if you know me, you know that Philodendron is my favorite genus of all plants. And today I'm going to be showing you guys all of the Philodendron in my collection, which is probably going to be like 80% of my collection because they are just my fave. So that's what this video is going to be about today. So if you want to see all of my Philodendron in my collection, then keep on watching. If not, don't. Go watch something else. It's fine. I won't be offended. So the first, that scared the crap out of me. It's my plant. So the first plant that I have here is this Philodendron bipennifolium, and this one is very special because it has a sentimental value. So the backstory behind this plant is my dad had this plant for 20 years or so, and I went to visit him one weekend and I seen it and I was like, Dad, can I please have a cutting? And he basically said, Maddie, just cut the whole thing up and take it all home. He's like, I don't want it. He's like, it's yours. You're the crazy plant lady of the family now, so take it. So naturally, I cut it up. I propagated maybe a dozen pieces. I gave a few to some friends, and the rest of them I kept for myself. So the original leaves that were on this plant when I first got it was this one and this one here. And pretty much everything else is all brand new growth since I've had it in my care. So yeah, that is my Philodendron bipennifolium, also nicknamed as the Philodendron horsehead. So the next plant that I have here is my Philodendron silver sword. Now I did a live stream on my Instagram the other day and I was actually speaking to Matt from Thick Potter, and he actually said that these go for like nearly $100 for probably not even the size of the one that I have here. Now this cost me $8 when I first bought it, and I'm in Australia if you don't already know, and he actually sent me a screenshot of the same plant going for $75 in a much smaller in a much smaller pot and probably half the size of this for $75. Now when I bought this, it was in a 5cm pot and it had about 6 leaves. These are super common here in Australia, like you find them everywhere and they're really, really cheap. Whereas over there, obviously they're a little bit harder to come by and a little bit more expensive. So it's just crazy to see how it kind of differentiates from country to country. Like certain plants are more expensive here and harder to find here, and then other plants are just super easy to find and super cheap in other places. So the next plant I have here is my Philodendron cordatum, also known as a Philodendron heartleaf. This was actually a cutting that my friend had given me from her plant, and it's pretty much like doubled since she gave it to me, and that was what, last year? So this plant also has some sentimental value as well because it was given to me from my friend. It's been a really, really great plant to watch grow, and it's given so much back. So it's been really enjoyable to have this guy in my collection, so yeah. So my next plant here is my Philodendron Machens. Also, I refer to it as my favorite child, but we won't tell the other plants because they might get jealous. This plant is just, it gives back so much. It's so easy to care for. So if you don't already know, the Philodendron Machens is a velvet-leafed philodendron. And you can see that it's this beautiful dark green, but it's also got, like, when the new growth comes through, it's like this burgundy sort of color. Very similar to like your Melena criesem, just a lot cheaper and a lot easier to come by. So yeah, this guy has definitely been one of my favorite plants that I've ever purchased, I think. It has slowed down a bit on growth, but we're in winter here, so that's to be expected. But I mean, I cut it back all the time and it's always putting out new leaves, and you know, it's just so easy to care for. So yeah, that is my Philodendron Machens. Oh, it looks so pretty. Oh, I just love it. Love it so much. So my next plant that I have here is this Philodendron Ferrum. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It's ridiculous. It's like I don't think it knows which way it wants to go. This is the newest leaf that it's put out, and it's just so beautiful. My favorite thing about this plant is the hairy stems, and the shape of the leaves is just so beautiful. Like, I could use this as an umbrella if it was raining and I didn't have an umbrella. And like, check out the size of that leaf compared to my face. Kaylee Ellen, do you approve? Yeah, in terms of like care and things like that, it's another really easy plant to keep. I mean, philodendron are relatively easy anyway, so which is why I think they're so popular. So yeah, not much else to say on that guy besides the fact that it's just growing in all directions, and it's hairy. So yeah, that's my Philodendron Squamiferum. Alright, so my next plant that I have here is my Philodendron Glorioso, which is a little bit beaten up. That was my fault completely, and this was also my fault. And I feel like this here was from my grow lights. I think I put my grow lights a little bit too close. So whoops. But it is putting out a brand new leaf right there, and I think it's going to be a decent size. So it's in perlite at the moment. So story behind that, I had it in semi-hydro, so I had it in leca. And the way that I had all of my leca plants set up, I did it incorrectly, and a lot of them ended up getting root rot, which, go figure. It's like, well, isn't that the whole thing? Like with leca, that the plants actually sit in water? Anyway, I won't go into that. I'll do a whole other video on that at a later date. But this basically ended up losing all of its roots, and I had to repropagate it, and now it's in perlite and it's going gangbusters. So the roots are really healthy and white, and they're just growing like crazy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying perlite at the moment. So I think I might stick to doing this way instead of doing leca until I know a little bit more about leca, and then I'll dive back into that. But yeah, so that is my Philodendron Glorioso, and I just spilt water on the floor. So my next plant here is my Philodendron Vericosome, which is looking slightly battered, but I feel like that is to do with like being in postage and, you know, it being so cold and acclimation and la-di-da-di-da. And I've got them both in moss at the moment, propagating. And I'll probably keep it in moss until next spring if I decide to put it into soil, but I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm just thinking about keeping it alive. It's living in my greenhouse, which my Gloriosum is also living in my greenhouse because my house is freezing, and I have a fireplace, so it tends to dry the air out a lot. So I keep them in my greenhouse, which is just next to me here, just to keep the humidity up, and to keep them warm. But yeah, they are rooting up really well. They haven't declined any further in terms of like the damage on the leaves. So I feel like the greenhouse is making a difference for sure. So yeah, that is my Philodendron Vericosome. So my next plant here is my Philodendron Melena criesem. Now, it might not look like a Philodendron Melena criesem. It looks like a stick in a wine glass. I bought this Melena criesem for really cheap because the original 2 leaves that were on it were actually burnt. So I lost both of those, not surprising at all. But so that was the risk that I was willing to take in terms of buying it with damaged leaves. But for the price that I got it for, like I wasn't too worried if I did lose them. As long as I had nodes and I had roots, which I do, you know, it's all going to be fine. Come spring next year, you know, this plant will be fine. It'll be growing again, and it won't just be a stick in a wine glass. You can't see it, but it does have 2 new growth points. One is a little bit further down, but you can see in there are roots growing and they're healthy, so I'm not too concerned. But yeah, so that is my Philodendron Melena criesem stick. So the last philodendron in my collection is this Philodendron Silver Cloud, which I have since learnt since buying it that it is a Mamei, a hybrid. So the original 2 leaves that came with it, they both went yellow and died. So they are no longer with us. But this leaf is the one that came out since I've had it in my care. It is yellowing on the tip and like the edges. And I suppose that could be, you know, me underwatering, overwatering, I don't know. Yeah, but otherwise it's healthy and it does have a new growth point just here. So obviously it's fine. It's not dead, so that's a good thing, right? So yeah, I haven't really spoke about this one much since I put up that video when I first got it, but yeah, there's not much of an update to give you guys other than the new growth point just here. But yeah, so that is the mess on my floor. So that is my Philodendron Silver Cloud. Okay. So I lied, I do have one more, but it's out in my kitchen, so give me a sec. Okay, so the last philodendron in my collection is this Philodendron Canbus. So yeah, so this is also another velvety leafed philodendron. You probably, I don't know if you can see that. It's very awkward in the way that it grows. I mean, I'll step back a little bit. So yeah. I have cut this guy back twice now, and it's constantly putting out new growth points. Just a really unique leaf shape. Not much to say on this one, other than it's easy, it's velvety, it's weird, but yeah. So yeah, that is my complete philodendron collection. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, don't forget to hit the like button to let me know that you're enjoying my content. If you don't want to miss out on any videos that I bring out in the future, head on over to my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. Let me know what your favorite genus of plant is or what your favorite philodendron is in the comments below. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye. Bye guys. Put that guy back over here. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of bed. Yeah. Did you have a good sleep? If you know me, you know that philodendron is my favorite plant species. Genus, Maddie. Get it right. All of my philodendron, then get to head on to my... So that is what...